YouTube, the Dapper Dinosaur here. Today I thought I'd share one of my interactions with a flat earther. Some of you may have already seen my debate with Flat Earth Aussie Jesus, Roscoe, or Iron Horse, or whatever the hell that fuckbag is calling himself now. This time I talked to a different flat earther, Mikey Smith, or Michael Allen, depending on if he's in court or not. You might know Mikey for being the only flat earther who regularly picks up phone calls from MC Toon, or for having a left big toe that looks like it's about to fall off from gangrene, or for getting himself stuck in Las Vegas and begging for money to get home, or insisting on using shit equipment to film stars, then begging for money to upgrade his equipment, then deciding that because the results didn't look like what he wanted, he would return the equipment and, as far as I know, keep the money. And for suing the Canadian Space Agency for $80 million Canadian and then having the courts toss out his filing and charging him $700 in court fees. On that last one, he claims that he's going to appeal, and in service of that is collecting what he calls evidence, but which are actually heavily post-processed video clips from an old cell phone where he uses digital zoom while focusing through binoculars at celestial objects which he names, but which we have no way to verify are what he claims. Also, he can't reproduce his results from night to night, because what he's actually seeing is a combination of twinkling, aberration, and artifacts introduced by the phone's built-in post-processing functions that include things like automatic edge sharpening and contrast adjustments. Of course, the problem here is that the case wasn't thrown out because Mikey doesn't have evidence, it was thrown out because Mikey doesn't actually say who had done what specific thing to him that meant that he was owed money. Basically, even if the court accepted all his factual claims as true, it wouldn't matter. That wouldn't give him standing. He also claims to have a lawyer, but I've read his original complaint, and there was no lawyer named on it, and I have trouble believing any lawyer would have told Mikey that that complaint was something he should submit to the court. But hey, we're not here for that. We're here for my second appearance there. Now, my first appearance is generally not available on YouTube, although I believe IC Spin may have a copy of it if you're interested. I was attempting to explain satellites and how Flerfs could test if they are what they tell us they are. It went nowhere, but it wasn't acrimonious or aggressive. I saw that he was streaming again on December 15th, 2025. It was my off day, and I decided to watch. He asked if there were any globies who could explain moon phases and posted a link to StreamYard. I figured I would, but first I set up a quick Blender scene to demonstrate lighting and angles and how those work together. Now, the scene wasn't great, and I would do it differently if I could go back in time. Well, let's see how it goes.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here's the comic routine coming into play.
I didn't actually notice that he had said that, but it should have been a warning to me. Alas.
Yeah, what's happening?
Hello, Mikey. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing wonderful. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing all right. How's my audio?
Your audio is good.
Good. All right. So, okay, first of all, this is CGI. I am not claiming that this is the real moon. Okay?
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah.
All right. But what I have here is I have set up a scene that is going to sort of simulate the moon,
sort of.
right?
Yeah. Okay.
So what we have over here, this is what's called a sun lamp. So it mimics what the Earth model of the sun is, which is to say just has a bunch of parallel rays that all go in one direction, right?
Yeah.
This here I have set up as the simulated orbit, so I can move it around the orbit, right? And then I just have a camera set up so that it follows the moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
There, I almost said scientific model, but I didn't want to come across as condescending because I wanted Mikey to not have reasons to stop paying attention because he got angry. Turns out, that was a bit of a fool's errand.
The model that is used by scientists is saying is that the sunlight is the illuminated portion of the moon. And I can zoom out here because it's, comes at a... When you come over... Now, see, because the moon is... That's right, the sun, there we go, is behind the moon, right?
This is what I meant about not being a great setup. I was being very hasty when I set it up. I fix it in a bit, but it's still not great.
It's always illuminated versus us. But if we do it so that the sun can change its angle, which is not super accurate, but we'll just do it.
I like this.
So
the sun and the moon are in the sky lots of times by themselves together, right?
Yeah.
Mikey does this a lot, where he'll just say something that is off topic but tangentially related. I think he does it when he feels nervous because he can tell that his opponent seems to actually have an answer for his original question. It's a deflection technique. He seems to think that if someone can't explain every single answer to every single question about any given topic within a few minutes, then that person can be dismissed and Mikey remains right. But of course, that's not how it works.
Yeah. So how does that work then?
Well,
How come you can see this slide that's illuminated?
let's get this one figured out how it is that the globe says that the moon is illuminated first. And then we'll figure out.
You're just showing me kind of a representation. You're not actually showing me.
Right, that's how models work.
In reality, like outside, how it works.
Right, but Mikey, I can't step outside with you because we're thousands of miles apart. So,
No, I know that, but you can do that and go record it on your phone.
Okay, but you've already recorded it on your phone, haven't you?
Here, I don't know what Mikey could possibly expect to gain from having me go film the moon. He's filmed the moon. Millions of people have filmed the moon. Real videos of the moon in the sky are everywhere. I'm not sure if he expects me to film the moon and film something he hasn't seen before, or if he expects that the fact that when I do it, I'll get mostly the same results as he does will make me realize that he's right. If you think you know what he's talking about, put it in the comments. And while you're there, remember to like the video and subscribe.
Yeah, lots of times the sun and the moon together.
Then, all right. Then I'll accept that you recorded it.
How it works on the flat Earth model, absolutely. That's easy to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But what I'm explaining right now is the model, which is why I'm using a model to explain a model, right? Because a model is just a mathematical description, and I here have a mathematical construct inside of my computer.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess, yeah.
So, why does it have a crescent sometimes? So
why is it flat? How about flat? How do you do a flat one? How do you do half a moon? Do that one.
Well, here we go.
I don't think he was expecting me to have that ready to go so fast.
So the way that this works here is you can see if I go over on, if I slide this side over here, what's happening is that the angle between the sun here, the camera, and the moon is about 90 degrees, which means that the shadow that the moon causes on itself is straight up and down. Because if you project if you have a sphere in front of you and you project light onto it from 90 degrees to your line of sight, there we go. What you will see is half of the sphere illuminated and a straight line.
But where's the hot spot?
Well, the hot spot is a bit of a misunderstanding because if I do this, I can create a hot spot.
Yeah, which we don't see.
But Mikey, do you know what I just did?
No, of course he doesn't, because Mikey doesn't really understand anything. He doesn't know about specularity, he doesn't know about light reflections, he doesn't know about scattering. He doesn't even seem to fully understand that if you see something, light has to bounce off of it and hit your eyes, or it has to come from something that's giving off light. Mikey seems to have both the intellectual capacity and emotional maturity of someone who is approximately 6 years old, which might be charming, except that he's a full-grown adult who likes to go around harassing people and then cry victim when they push back on that. Now, to be fair, he has actually been the victim of an attack when he was punched while doing his Flat Earth evangelism.
Yeah, YouTube, of course. Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. That's good for the ladies to hear, right? They like that. When you swear. It's very attractive. Hey, ladies, if you want a real man, you might want to get somebody older. More mature. More mature. Huh? More How you doing, buddy? Hey, I got this on YouTube, pal.
But he also has gone to observatories to harass people, yelled at people from his car, etc. Also, in his complaint, he mentions that his family don't talk to him. I suspect it's because he harasses them too. Probably about his misunderstandings of extremely basic things, like what a reflection is, and the fact that some things aren't shiny.
We don't see that in reality.
Right, but Mikey, do you know what I just did?
Yeah, you pretended there was a sun.
No, because the sun is here, right? I didn't change anything here. This is where the sun is that I'm controlling here.
But there has to be a hot spot, but never is one.
Mikey will not allow explanations on his channel. I don't know if he consciously realizes that he tries to shut down explanations, the very thing he asked for, because he's scared of them, but that sure is how it seems to me.
Right, Mikey, what I just did was I changed what's called the roughness, which simulates how smooth a surface is. The reason hotspots occur is because surfaces have some surfaces are relatively smooth, like water, or if you have like a plastic beach ball. But if a surface has a lot of fine detail on it, the light scatters in more random directions, and so you don't get a hotspot, which is what happens if you have a very rough thing. And the moon, at the distance we see it at, is very rough, which is why if you turn up the roughness, which is what we actually do end up seeing, and is how science describes the moon, that's why there's no hotspot, because the moon isn't very smooth at the level, compared to the wavelengths of light hitting it.
But the light is all evenly distributed. It doesn't matter.
Notice that has not a single thing to do with how smooth the surface is, which is what determines if there is a specular reflection and how noticeable it is and how sharp it is. The distribution of light doesn't make something have a specular reflection or not, or as Mikey calls it, a hot spot on its surface. It's just about the surface texture.
Right, that's why I use the sun lamp, because that evenly distributes the light.
Yeah, okay, now try doing that from a mile away and do it.
The sun lamp actually assumes that the distance to the light source is infinite. It's one of the reasons it doesn't work well with volumetric world settings. Mikey doesn't understand that. To be fair, there's no particular reason for him to understand that, since he's not a 3D artist who would have reason to understand it.
I mean,
we're out in the yard or in your field.
Well, my house isn't a mile, so I can't.
Yeah, but you can go outside. I don't know if none of you globies go outside, do you? I'm not sure if you do.
I mean, I've been outside. Mikey, I'm not trying to convince you that this is right.
Well,
what
I know
I'm
it's not
is,
right. You don't have to convince me. I know
fine.
It's not right because that's not what I see. With
what I'm trying to do is say that the next time you want to try to say, hey, I don't think this matches what the globe says it should do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want you to be able to know what the globe says it should do better, because what I noticed from your chat is that most of the people who aren't flat earthers are saying, well, you don't seem to understand what our position is. And one of my big rules in life is until you can convince someone that you understand their position, your critiques of their position probably aren't going to hit very hard. So I'm trying to help you.
I don't understand anything about the globe because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's why I'm trying to help.
Well, I want you to show me how that straight line happens on the moon.
Note that I've already done this. He ignored the explanation and tried to deflect from it.
Okay. So this right here, this is the same object that's here,
Yes.
right? I have it just texture. You can't see the texture in this mode, right? Because I just have it here, so it's easy to manipulate, right? So this is a pretty close approximation of a perfect sphere. If I show you the actual wireframe, you can see technically it's made of flat faces, but that's a pretty close approximation of a sphere, right?
Sure.
Okay. So right now, the angle between the sun and the camera, which is this guy, are approximately 90 degrees, right? So if you were to take out a compass and measure this blue line that's hard to see, but it's there, you'd probably get about 90 degrees. So what that means is, if you look from the top, only the half that's sort of to the top left is illuminated. And since the camera is down here, that's the left-hand side. And since only the top left here, or the left here, is illuminated, then you get a flat or a straight line. And if we move this here so that the angle increases so we can see more of the moon here, we get to a gibbous moon where we can see more a crescent shape here, and we can see more than half. And then if we go over here, well, I'll have to zoom out a little bit, but if we go here, because the angle here is greater than 90 degrees, we can see less than half of the illuminated side, so we get a crescent moon. And if we go right in line, we get a new moon because the sun is shining directly on the side of the moon that we can't see.
And here comes Mikey about to say that despite the fact that that actually replicated moon phases, that there's some problem with it. And of course the problem is that it's not what he believes. Because Mikey isn't someone who cares about explanations, evidence, facts, or anything. He's a man who thinks that despite the fact that he is admittedly extremely unintelligent, he is in fact the only person in the world, even among flat earthers, who has figured out the sky. This despite the fact that literally no one has ever been able to replicate his results consistently, and that he has absolutely no ability to predict anything that will happen in the sky based on any of his ideas.
And then when we go over here...
No. That's what my next question was. Where does the new moon go?
The new moon is in the sky during the day.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Okay, I don't
I've tried finding it, and the sun and the moon move at two different speeds. So if the sun was going to block, or the moon was going to block the sun, or something was going to block the moon, or whatever you want to call it, they're moving at different speeds. So that's only going to happen for about an hour in the day. Just like solar eclipses, the moon is not even in the sky. So I'm not sure how that works.
Okay, and Mikey, if we saw the world without perspective, right, then I would tend to agree that it will be very hard for the moon to stay new for very long. Because if you look here...
Here, I misunderstood what Mikey said because my brain tried to make what he said make even a small amount of sense. Of course it didn't, so I got it wrong. But I'll eventually figure out that he seems to think that the moon actually physically vanishes from reality during a new moon.
The moon is there. You can see it. It goes completely
away.
dark, but then almost right away, right? But what we actually have isn't an orthographic projection. We have perspective. And one of the things that means is that generally we actually see less than half the moon. And so because the moon is closer to us than infinitely distant, what that means is when it's facing roughly towards the sun, like here, we generally can't see it because the part that's in light is still too far because it's blocked because of, again, perspective.
It's not far.
But if we were to go to, say, orthographic mode, oh, I'm on the wrong thing.
But again,
if
you have a rock floating in space that's not illuminated, you should still see the rock.
Well, unless there's something brighter between you and it. In which
what would
case,
that be?
The sky.
What about at night?
Well, at night, the new moon is on the day side of the Earth, so you can't see it because it's blocked by the Earth.
Absolutely not. Nobody sees the moon.
Well, right, because the people who are on the side of the Earth where the moon is have the moon in shadow, and all they can see is the blue of the sky because that's much brighter than the moon, because the moon is in shadow.
Well, which is it, at night or in the day? You're picking two different sides now. And then again,
so
on this flat plane we live, nobody sees the moon because the moon is traveling around, correct? So at some point somebody's going to see it, but nobody ever does.
Which is what the globe predicts.
Yes, and so they're wrong again. Thank you.
But that's the thing, though. No one does see the moon. So the observation does match what the globe predicts.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope.
Notice that Mikey can't actually tell you what the globe would predict. He just says, no, absolutely not, as if nuh-uh changes the reality of what we both see and what the prediction is.
The moon's not in the sky, buddy. On the new moon. It's not there. It's gone.
It is.
No, it's not. Prove it. Show me. Go take a picture of it in the sky, day or night, any time of the week, day or month, anytime.
Mikey, every single picture of a solar eclipse is a picture of the new moon in the sky.
Absolutely not. The moon is not even in the sky when that happens, guy.
Well, then how do people correctly predict when the new moon will occur? Sorry, not the new moon. Sorry,
Go
the solar eclipse. When and where?
Go ask the government, see if they'll tell you the truth.
Okay, but Mikey, when I ask them, they're going to give me an answer that you're going to, regardless of the truth of it or not,
reject. Want them to show me the truth. Don't just tell me something. Go record it in the sky.
But Mikey, it has been recorded.
I've tried to find the new moon with my solar filter on my P1000. Have you ever tried to look for it yourself?
I just want you to sit for a second and think about the fact that Mikey went looking for the dark moon during the day with a filter that blocks out almost all light. Just think about how colossally stupid that is. It's like stabbing your eyes out so you can appreciate an art gallery full of paintings better.
Absolutely not.
Mikey, you haven't. The moon is never bright enough to see it with a solar filter.
In order to go outside to record the moon on a new moon. You can't do it. It never has happened, ever.
Mikey,
so good luck.
Mikey, the moon isn't never bright enough to be recorded with a solar filter on your camera, because a solar filter is there to block out the brightness of the sun so that you can safely observe the sun. But the moon is much, much dimmer than the sun at its brightest, which is a full moon.
Exactly. So if the moon was there beside the sun, I would be able to see it.
Only if it overlaps the disk. But only if it overlaps the disk of the sun.
Whatever is coming out your mouth, you go do it and show me. You
Mikey,
go do it.
I don't even know what he wants me to show him. I guess he wants to see the dark moon against a dark background near the sun, but of course that's not possible because his request would block out any light from the moon in the first place.
Why? You won't believe me.
If you go do it honestly, I will. Why? Are you going to lie to me then? Are you going to
Mikey, I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm not lying to you now, and neither are the people who already filmed it.
And produce a 3-second video just like Astronomy Live does and assume that's real? Are any of you guys honest or not? Mikey, I don't know. You're never.
I can't speak to anyone else.
A shooting star supposedly forming in the sky and shooting across the sky.
Mikey seems to think that shooting stars are actually stars and doesn't realize that they're bits of solid matter falling to Earth that become bright because of light from shock heating and friction caused by the atmosphere. So of course they form in the sky, in that before they start glowing, they aren't visible because they aren't giving off light.
They are not shooting stars from outer space.
To be fair to Mikey, this topic change isn't completely out of nowhere. He had been talking about his footage of a meteor shower earlier. That being said, it has absolutely nothing to do with where the moon is during a new moon.
Okay, you guys are complete morons. You don't know how to think or present anything with honest, full truth at all. You would lose in court in 2 seconds, like you have done already.
I had to try really hard not to point out that Mikey had actually just lost in court. It's not relevant to anything since science isn't decided in a courtroom.
Flat earthers have won once before, and I'm going to be the second one, all right, buddy?
He's obviously not, because he has already lost. But also, what he's talking about here is that a flat earther gave a challenge of some kind in the USA, and a globe earther said he had succeeded at the challenge and sued the issuer. I don't remember who it was exactly because, frankly, I don't care. If you know who it was, let me know in the comments and remind me to pin the answer. Anyway, the flat earther won in court because the court found that the plaintiff had not actually followed the terms of the challenge, not because the court found that the challenge was impossible or that the earth is flat. Mikey can't figure that out sometimes. You can be factually correct about science and lose a court case. You can be factually incorrect about science and win. Courts aren't there to decide on questions of science.
So I do wish you guys luck. You are dishonest to everybody. You worship the devil and you lick the devil's balls. I have no idea why, okay?
Well, it's because they're spicy and I like spicy food.
You can sit there and lie to me during this live stream. You got major, major problems, buddy.
I would encourage anyone to tell me what I even could have lied about in my explanation. I tried to ask him what I had lied about. He didn't tell me. Mikey, I suspect you're watching this. I'd love for you to tell me what I lied about specifically. Tell me a thing I said, then show how it was both incorrect and how you know that I also knew when I said it that it was incorrect. This bit was especially testing because I had spent the previous exchange with Mikey pointing out how I do not think he's being dishonest at all. Now, of course, I think that's because Mikey is an almost incomprehensibly stupid person who couldn't think his way out of a paper bag if he had instructions and a map. But still, I don't think he's being dishonest.
Major problems.
Mikey, I'm not sure what specifically you think I've lied about.
Honest. You're not being honest.
What do you think I've lied about?
What color shirt am I wearing? Is this pink? Is this pink?
It looks gray to me. It looks gray to me.
White or pink?
It looks gray to me.
Let's lie together. This is a pink shirt, isn't it?
Not to my vision. It looks gray to me.
Sure? Maybe we can draw a cartoon picture of myself with a pink t-shirt, and then it will be.
I mean, if you'd like.
Maybe, yeah, it would be more dishonest. It would be grateful for you to do that. I'm not dishonest to people. Thank you very much.
I'm not particularly good at drawing.
You're not particularly good at telling the truth, so tell me the truth.
I don't know what you think I've lied to you about.
Do you feel like you're spinning right now?
I do not.
Thank you. Okay. So when the sun when it rises, it goes from the east to the west, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You just agreed that the sun moves and not us.
I did not do that. I said I don't feel like I'm...
The horizon is horizontal, correct?
No.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
The horizon actually measurably dips down from side to side even at low elevation, and the effect becomes more pronounced the higher you go. This has been measured many times. Mikey is aware of this.
Why do we call it the horizon then? Is it the curve horizon?
Mikey, I'm not going to engage in the etymological fallacy for fun.
I'm not doing this for fun. I'm trying to educate you and for you to be honest. But you're not being honest with me ever.
I don't know what
how you survive throughout the day by being dishonest. That's all you do is lie. Go lie to yourself. Thank you. I can't stand dishonest people, guys. They're done. I'm sorry, man.
Which is ironic since the only people Mikey seems to talk to are other Flerfs who are mostly dishonest.
They lie like it's like an illness to them. That's all they do is want to lie.
Just not in ways that Mikey can bother to articulate.
He's just showing me diagrams, little stupid. I don't even know. I can't even understand them. They're so stupid.
I would love to know how Mikey would like to have the moon phases explained to him without diagrams, since clearly simply existing in reality didn't do it. Also, it's kind of ironic given that he can't explain what he thinks stars are with his own images of them, and he plans to make his own physical models of what he thinks they are, which is just a 3D diagram. But hey, he couldn't be a flat earther if he had to be consistent and make sense. Also, I actually do think that he could understand them. I think he got angry because they were so simple that he could understand them, but they weren't telling him what he wanted.
Go outside and do something. This is what I'm telling to the globies and all of the so-called truthers out there.
Hey Mikey, you were the one who was sitting inside on his computer streaming to my computer, asking that someone like me show up and explain stuff to you. Objecting that I didn't do it outside doesn't matter. Nor would you believe me if I had gone outside. It wouldn't matter. You're just using this to deflect from how wrong you feel right now.
Well, maybe I shouldn't. I'm not allowed to talk or voice my opinion anymore.
Yes, you are, Mikey. You're doing it right now. It's just that by and large, not even the other flat earthers can understand what the hell you're going on about.
Because I've got people telling me what to do, how to do it, how to say it. Hey, you know what? Go do it yourself, man. You're complaining to me?
I have never complained to Mikey. I did what he asked, and he yelled at me and insulted me for it. No wonder Mikey's family want nothing to do with him if this is how he responds to people who try to help him when he asks for it. It's not the Canadian Space Agency that ruined those relationships. It was Mikey.
Tell me what I have not done. Ask me what I haven't done, and I'll go do it tonight or tomorrow.
Sat and listened to someone explain science without interrupting, changing the subject or calling them names, and consider that maybe your inability to comprehend what they're telling you, that everyone else understands, is not because they're wrong, but because you are, as you say, stupid. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being unintelligent. It's arrogance in knowing that, but thinking that everyone else is wrong anyway, and that it's Mikey contra mundi, when in most cases, the mundus has never heard of you.
First of all, the lazy bastards out there on YouTube land, truth community, how does that feel? Right up the ass. How does that feel?
I think Mikey is threatening all other conspiracy tubers with anal rape via his thumb. Maybe that's another reason he has almost no friends.
Unbelievable. And I'm the one getting shit on.
Well, when you put a finger in someone's ass, that tends to happen.
Hey, oh, Mikey's got over 3,000 subs right now. I should have 300,000 subs, man.
Then go get them. No one is just going to hand you a few 100,000 subs. Make content that engages people and isn't just mean-spirited variations of showing off your refusal to learn.
With the amount of work that I've done for the truth community and got nothing back for it, I'm sorry. I have every right to say what I need to say right now.
Another L for the labor theory of value, I guess.
Oh, Mikey's on his rant again. He's talking about himself. Okay, well, when you do something, you can talk about yourself then. Right, guys? Not sure what else, what? Again, if the United States goes to war.
Something that it's almost always doing. Maybe not liking that is a bit of a common ground between me and Mikey.
Which they probably will, because they love killing people.
That's true.
They're going to come knock at your door, and you're going to have to go to war.
Unlikely, but not impossible. The draft hasn't been implemented since Vietnam, and it's phenomenally unpopular. That being said, if the volunteer portion of the armed forces are too small to effectively do whatever murderous criminal shit the sitting king decides to do, then yeah, maybe that'll happen. Although you probably don't have to worry about it much if you're not an able-bodied young man, or if you have enough money, like the current king.
Are you going to meet your buddies at the next coffee shop? Yes, you will, because you don't want to do anything about truth or for anything about humanity.
I don't know what that has to do with the war or truth or humanity.
And I'm going to tell you something else. You want to know how I'm different?
Not really, but I'm sure I'm about to find out anyway.
People say I'm different.
They sure do.
Because I care about other people rather than myself.
You just rage kicked me for doing what you asked me while insulting me, Michael. That's not exactly super caring.
People who don't go out and do things for truth are more worried about their own self, their own gratitude, whatever it is. They only care about themselves.
Yeah, the reason I took time out of my days off from my 60 to 80-hour work week to try to explain how light works at a 4th grade level to a man-child is because of my own selfish desires to be verbally abused.
They're not out there helping other people wake up, know the truth, educate them. The people sitting on their asses could give a flying fuck about anybody else rather than themselves.
This channel has successfully helped people in need on numerous occasions. We've helped an elderly woman on a fixed income buy an appliance she couldn't afford. We've saved at least 2 people from homelessness. We raised money to help a disabled veteran who had his livelihood stolen by the VA get his car repaired. So no matter who's right, this channel has done more good in the world than Mikey has. Oh, and also, I've never appeared in the bedroom of my landlady professing my love for her, thereby necessitating the police to be called and earning myself a restraining order from said woman. You know who can't say that about himself? Mikey.
And until somebody proves me wrong, I'm just going to sit here and talk about it.
That happened more times than I can even count. It doesn't matter to what Mikey does.
Hey?
I don't care.
I am tired of lying SOBs. Just pathetic. Talking bad shit about me. Tell me what I have done wrong in relation to not waking up the communities.
Fail to understand even the most basic aspects of geometry, physics, basic logic, and how to relate to other humans. Oh, and begging for money for new equipment that doesn't actually get used isn't a good look either. And don't get me wrong, I've received plenty of equipment from fans, both through fundraisers and as gifts. But I use it.
When anybody can go out there and record the damn new moon at any point of the day or night, which nobody has done, not even NASA.
Well, here's a clip of the new moon during the day, so yes, they have. Of course, Mikey won't believe it, so it won't matter. But anyway, yeah, that's my weird, wacky interaction with Mikey about the phases of the moon. If you liked this video, please hit like and let me know what you liked in the comments. If you didn't, then hit dislike and let me know what the problem was. Either way, I hope you subscribe and check out the channel memberships and my Patreon. I'm the Dapper Dinosaur.
Hey, before you leave, I just want to take a second to thank my patrons and channel members, especially those pledging $20 or above. Benthovend, Tapioca Weasel, Sphincter of Doom, Regios, Landon Knoll, Ian Chen, Eleron Teller, Phil Rivera, Kelvin Brostick Van Manen, David Hercules, Joshua Geese, Vollus, Dan Sheedy, Pega Jace, The Plastic Mouse, Arrow Dodger, Gordon Love Science, Amber Athelian, Prixie Purple, Agricola Siqua, and John Ackerman. It's because of my channel members and patrons whom you're seeing on screen that this channel can stay afloat. Without you, it would all shut down. If you want to join the team, there's a link to join the channel below this video, and there's a link to join the Patreon in the description. On the Patreon, you can get a 15% discount for pledging annually, and either way, you get early access to virtually all of my scripted videos months before they come out for the general public. Thanks for watching.